Welcome to Positive Atheism English channel. This is in continuation of the article, The Role of Atheist Center in Promoting Secularism, printed in the souvenir of 7th World Atheist Conference by Atheist Center, India. Mrs. Vidya's resolution in Lok Sabha, that is Indian Parliament, on the necessity to strengthen secularism. Mrs. Chennupati Vidya, daughter of Gora, Member of Parliament from Vijayawada, introduced a private member resolution in Lok Sabha, that is House of the People, on the necessity to strengthen secularism. The resolution was discussed in the Lok Sabha on April 23, 1982 for 2 hours. Mr. G. Lakshmanan, Deputy Speaker, himself a rationalist leader, was in the chair. The discussion was further extended for 2 hours in view of the interest on the subject in the House. Text of the resolution. Keeping in view the secular character of our Constitution and the fact that secularism is one of the basic tenets of our state policy, this House recommends to the government to take immediate steps to: number 1, promote a sense of castelessness through intercaste and interreligion marriages. Number 2, prepare suitable textbooks to propagate secular ideas by laying emphasis on fundamental duties enshrined in the Constitution. Number 3, encourage secular outlook among the employees working in the government and public sector undertakings, so that a feeling of national brotherhood and human dignity is promoted among people. While introducing the resolution in Lok Sabha, Mrs. Vidya traced the historical significance of secularism in India right from the 19th century. In the beginning, nationalism was intimately associated with democracy. In this century, secularism in India is also intertwined with nationalism and democracy. Thus, nationalism, secularism, and democracy are the three important principles on which the strength of the country is dependent. Mrs. Vidya stated that secularism was championed from different points of view. Mahatma Gandhi thought in terms of equality of all religions. Jawaharlal Nehru, on the other hand, propagated secularism from humanist and scientific point of view. Highlighting the importance of secularism in modern India, Nehru said, "We have to function in life with the humanist ideals of the age we live. These ideas may be classed under two heads, that is, humanism and scientific spirit." She further stated that secularism is propagated as a way of life by atheists like Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy, Gora, and humanists like M.N. Roy, socialists like Lohia, and communists also work for secularism in this country. Under the inspiring leadership of B.R. Ambedkar, the founding fathers of the Constitution abolished untouchability. They maintained the separation of state and religion. The Constitution did not provide for any religious instruction in educational institutions. On the other hand, freedom of religion was guaranteed. She reiterated that along with constitutional provision, follow-up actions are essential to achieve the desired objectives of secularism. Then alone, the pace of change in society would be rapid and separation of religion and state would take firm roots in India. Mrs. Vidya stated that the state is the most effective instrument of social change. Hence, steps should be taken to create a new society based on secularism and equality. All branches of government should take effective steps to achieve secularism in all spheres of life, and promotion of castelessness through intercaste and interreligious marriages is an urgent necessity. She said that education must promote secular values and pave way for social change. People should shed miracle mind and develop progressive mentality. Education should also make people aware of illusions and delusions such as witchcraft and bonamati and fight against them. People should be encouraged to develop rational and scientific outlook. She said that every generation faces certain challenges. The challenge before this generation is how to promote secular values among the mass of the people. She appealed to increase the secular content in the textbooks. She appealed to government to conduct constant orientation and training programs to equip the government and public sector employees with the idea of secular, socialist, and democratic ideals. Mrs. Vidya reiterated that secularism in India was not merely a political doctrine, it is a comprehensive, forward-looking, dynamic program. Secularism promotes national brotherhood and human dignity as well as all-round development of the country. The members cutting across party lines supported Mrs. Vidya's resolution. Some members highlighted the necessity to introduce uniform civil code in this country. After a good discussion on July 16 and again on July 30th, 1982, Mrs. Vijaya expressed her happiness for the active participation of the members and the keen interest they had shown in the subject. She stated that the whole world is moving towards a post-religious society and so India cannot lag behind. She stated that secularism is a way of life which would enable to march forward in the direction of post-religious society. Such a bill for the promotion of casteless, religionless society was introduced for the first time in Indian Parliament. Highlighting its significance, Mrs. Vijaya stated in the aims and objects of the bill that divisive factors like caste and religion were standing in the way of national integration. Communal and caste feuds are taking place in different parts of the country. She further stated that the goal of national integration could best be achieved if a casteless and religionless society is established. One step in this direction is to remove the columns which require a person to indicate his or her caste or religion in the forms maintained by educational institutions and various public bodies like employment exchange, public service commissions, etc. In the course of years of exclusion of such columns relating to caste and religion shall make caste and religion factors of no consequences, stated Mrs. Vijaya. Removal of references to caste and religion in the application forms of education institution and other government departments would be a step further in creating congenial atmosphere for the healthy development of society on secular lines. Vijaya's bill in Parliament for a casteless and religionless society. Mrs. Vijaya introduced the bill in Indian Parliament for casteless and religionless society and discussion on it started on July 29, 1983. She reminded that Indian nationalism is essentially secular and it is opposed to communal sectarianism. She said that science enabled us to cross the physical barriers, but the mental barriers of caste and religion still divide people. She reminded the Parliament that we are marching towards a post-religious society. Mrs. Vijaya reiterated that nationalism transcends the obligations and loyalties of caste, tribe, race, and religion. She said that the tragedy of our present day society is that though the caste and religion bonds are loosened, caste consciousness and religious consciousness have increased. As the awareness of caste and religion often misguide people into divisive and sectarian considerations, there is a danger to national unity and social brotherhood. She reiterated that caste and religion have nothing to do with the promotion of morality. One could be good and do good to others without religion. This has been amply demonstrated by the atheists, humanists, rationalists, and progressive-minded people all over the world. In India, Periyar, E.V. Ramaswamy, Gora, and M.N. Roy are shining examples in this regard, she added. Making a fervent appeal for castelessness and religiousness, she said, when we march towards castelessness and secularism, government and people would devote their time and energies to the real problems. Poverty, hunger, and inequalities are the real enemies of social progress. Efforts for propagation of secularism. Atheist Center organized conferences, seminars, and discussions for the promotion of secularism with a view to create awareness among people and to increase their commitment to the cause. In all the atheist study camps, separation of religion and state and secularism were prominent topics for discussion. A number of articles also were published in different journals on the subject. Atheist Center's practical programs in the direction include interdining, social mixed plot, and intermarriages. The recurrence of communal riots, caste feuds, and politicization of caste and religion, and the brutal killings in Punjab in the name of religion, and the demolition of the Babri Masjid, the communal carnage in Gujarat made many people think in India in terms of separation of religion and state and to strengthen the secular foundations of the nation. The unity and integrity of the country and the progress of the nation depend to a large extent on the secular ramparts we guard. The controversies of Ramajanmabhoomi and Babri Masjid, religious clashes in different parts of the country, revealed in unmistakable terms that unless secularism is practiced in India with utmost sincerity, the fundamentalist forces fan the passion and emotion of the masses and distract attention from the real issues of economic and social development. Hence, the separation of religion and state and strengthening of secularism in India is not only a desired goal, but it is the very breath of the nation. And here ends the article, and we'll meet again in the next episode with another article. Thank you.
For more videos, please subscribe to this channel Positive Atheism and activate the bell icon. Please download Samaram multi-channel app and watch your favorite channels from your mobile. App available on Google Play Store and subscribe to the channels.